Hello and welcome back to the Data Privacy Lawyer. Today we're going to be looking at AI terms offered by Oracle. So these are the terms, effective date September 26, 2025. I'm going to zoom in so we can look at the provisions clearly. These terms apply to AI functionality in your ordered Oracle Cloud services. Okay. So I love that they've qualified exactly who these terms apply to. I feel like there have been some instances where organizations have issued artificial intelligence terms for all of their products. Now, without knowing all of their products, it's really important to be transparent about AI functionality. If you are going to state it's about all of your products, that requires a review of all your products, inputs, outputs, storage, and then essentially being transparent about how those are processed. So, okay. Oracle has implemented practices that reflect Oracle's commitment to develop AI systems in the cloud services in a responsible manner. Okay. Oracle conducts a review of AI systems prior to their deployment to assess their intended use training data. Something I would scrutinize about training data is ensuring that the appropriate measures have been put in place when it came to collection, usage, and then subsequent storage, the entire data lifecycle. So identifying exactly where the training data has originated from, ensuring that an organization has the correct legal basis on which to process that personal data, and still fulfilling its obligations under data protection laws when it comes to training data, whether it is that a data subject has asked for access to their information or the data that's been processed on them by an organization like Oracle. That's really important. Compliance with AI laws. Okay. Oracle shall comply with all laws related to AI to the extent that such laws, by their terms, are expressly applicable to Oracle's provision of AI functionality and output, and impose obligations directly upon Oracle in its role as an information technology service provider. So it's just a bit of legalese, essentially. I want to take a look at the privacy component. AI functionality may use third-party AI. Now let's talk a little bit about this. Why is this important? One, the relationship between Oracle and the third party, there needs to be due diligence that's conducted to review that the third party AI complies with one, the AI laws, and two, if the AI that's being offered by the third party does process personal data, that their privacy practices are in alignment with the data protection laws, because the AI functionality is essentially integrating with this third party AI. Oracle still has responsibilities for whatever third party that they choose to process your personal information. They're the responsible party, irrespective of whether they've obtained third-party AI outside. It's not AI that they've actually created themselves. Third-party AI may include third-party AI models which are hosted on third-party infrastructure and used to process your content in order to provide AI functionality. Your use of third-party AI may be subject to separate terms. So I love that they've used maybe, because they're still acknowledging their responsibility to make sure that the third party that they are utilizing for their AI functionality is compliant with their obligations under the data protection laws. You acknowledge that separate third-party AI terms may include restrictions, including as to output, permitted uses, and geographic scope applicable to third-party AI. These restrictions may be greater than those set forth in these terms. So I think what would be useful, let me see if they've added it. Okay, they've not listed the third-party AI. I think it would be useful for consumers to be able to understand who the third-party AI is. It may be that on the Oracle website, they've actually provided that insight, and you can see that there. Seeing who the subprocessors are, essentially that's something that legal counsel is probably going to review and do their due diligence on. But that also forms a part of the privacy program that a privacy lawyer could provide insight to for a company like Oracle. All right, let's go back to AI functionality output. Now, this is really important because if the output does present personal data, there are going to be responsibilities on Oracle depending on geography. Now, we talked a little bit about training data. That's what's training the AI functionality. But essentially, whatever the AI is trained on is going to result in the output that the AI creates, right? If your training data contains personal data, it is likely that your output will also contain personal data. And each type of personal data will have its own set of obligations depending on what output the AI functionality creates. And these are all considerations that I'm sure that Oracle has put into place. Output generated by AI functionality may not always be accurate, complete, or up to date. I love that they've put this in. I think a lot of people think that artificial intelligence is foolproof. The AI is only as good as the training data that has been presented at the time that the AI was created or updated. That's very important for consumers to realize, and also the users that are going to use this AI functionality. Output may not be unique, and other customers may receive similar output from AI functionality. Now, depending on what's been input will determine the output. I also love that this disclaimer has been put into the terms, because I think that customers should be aware of this. There is no AI at this point that is foolproof. It is still the responsibility of the customer. You're receiving a service, right? And the service, as Oracle has listed here, may not always be accurate because they're constantly updating and optimizing the offering that they have through their cloud services. So you are solely responsible for your and your users. The minute I saw your users, I already knew that there was going to be at least some type of personal data, at a minimum, a username and password, right? And this is why I said originally that there is no artificial intelligence tool or system that can operate independently of some type of personal data. So you as an organization need to take this into consideration if you are going to interact with or obtain a service from a supplier like Oracle that has an artificial intelligence component to it. So I really hope you enjoyed this review. I think that these terms are really useful to see because some companies don't have a designated counsel to be able to explain what it is that they're signing up to, what the obligations are for their supplier, what their obligations are as a customer, and explaining these terms in simple terms, such as these, in a simple manner so that the organization can still meet its own obligations under the data protection laws. So I really hope you enjoyed this audit. If your company, you're looking for privacy counsel, take a look at my description below and I will see you in another video.